Go Green, a Family Matters Earth Day special, is made possible by the following partner.
At Providence Health and Services, we're as committed to the health of our planet as we are to the health of our patients. That's why we're doing our part to support sustainability. Providence knows a healthier world makes for healthier people.
So you're trying to fit things that already exist together in a new way.
It's all about landfill space and doing the right thing for the environment.
We look at transportation, we look at energy, we look at recycling, we look at composting.
The watts are creating more energy, so it's a double win.
It's really important to cut down that transit time.
If everybody did a bit, it would make a big difference.
If this can't work in Portland, it probably can't work anywhere.
Go Green, a Family Matters Earth Day special.
Hello, I'm KATU meteorologist Dave Selesky, and welcome to Go Green. Here in the Pacific Northwest, Go Green isn't just a catchphrase. It's become a way of life. In the next half hour, we'll meet everyday people, putting that philosophy into practice, finding new and unique ways to go green. Going to the local gym is one of the most common things we do, but we found a place to work out that's building more than just muscle.
I wanted to have a small neighborhood gym that had something special to it. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we could make some electricity? Wouldn't it be fun? Some of the exercise equipment in the gym, when you get on and exercise on it, you generate electricity, and that electricity gets plugged right into a normal outlet and it goes back into the building and helps power the building. If you have 5 people in here exercising vigorously, making electricity, that could be powering everything that the gym needs at that time, because we have a very efficient gym.
I chose the Green Micro Gym because this is basically one of the first of its kind that I've ever seen. I've been in the business for about 17 years, professionally training, and I've never seen a gym that had green technology, electrical ellipticals, electrical generating spin bikes. So what Adam has formed here is pretty much cutting edge, and I have not seen it anywhere else in the United States.
So this is an elliptical machine. It's remanufactured, and what we did is we retrofitted it. We took out the console head unit that they had, and we put our own console head unit with our own electronics that make it so that the electricity generated goes back to the building. And so when we get on, there's a generator turning in there, and this shows how many watts we're creating. And then if we want to watch Hulu, Netflix, we can do that on the iPad. And those iPads use 10 watts compared to a TV that would use 100 or 150 watts. You can very easily power any entertainment needs that you have while you're exercising.
I really liked the concept that when I'm putting out a lot of energy, it's actually going somewhere and doing something, rather than it just being a very selfish thing. I feel like I'm giving back at the same time.
So if you had a gym that had 50 machines and a green culture, you would be generating 5 kilowatts, which is a lot. My dream is that every piece of exercise equipment in the world generates electricity and puts it back into the building. That's my dream.
From biking to running, Portland hosts a number of racing events every year, and we found a company on the road to making races more earth-friendly.
We create recyclable race bibs for events around the country, so they can be marathons, triathlons, adventure races, all kinds of races where you would wear a number on your shirt is what we make. Traditional bibs have been made out of a material that's also used for house wrap, bunny suits, a number of different uses, and it's not easily recyclable, whereas recycle racing numbers can be put in your curbside bin here in Portland and recycled with your regular weekly recycling. What really distinguishes recycle racing product itself is that it uses a material that is manufactured domestically in the United States. It's printed using soy-based inks as opposed to petroleum-based inks, and it's printed on a number 2 recyclable material.
It's basically a plastic and it's a great paper for using what we're doing for the bibs because it's water resistant and it prints well, and it's a recycle too.
A lot of things happen to bibs. Some people keep them as a memento of their race, but the majority of them are thrown in the landfill every year. There's over 9.8 million people in the US who participate in running races each year, so that's a lot of bibs. I've created bibs for over 200 races around the world. You've seen us at the Santa Barbara Marathon, the Portland Triathlon, Pints to Pasta race here in Portland, and even a race out in Guam, of all places. I was looking for a way that I could make a difference. A lot has already been done in the green event arena. The great thing about the bibs is that every single participant in the race using a recycle racing bib understands the race director's commitment to sustainability because it says so right on the bib. Next step is looking for a recycled material, so something where there's post-consumer recycled waste already embedded in the product. Just finding the right material that can take the soy-based inks and go through the printers is very important, and then that has the lowest environmental footprint.
Portland's food carts, a pretty popular choice for people on the go, but the potential for waste can get pretty high. Find out how a simple idea is keeping the flavor up and the trash down.
So I've been a food cart fan for years, and they offer great food at a great price. The problem is that every time you get a meal from a food cart, you get it in this disposable container. And you take it, you eat it, and 10 minutes later you throw it away. In fact, we use about 60,000 disposable containers every month just from the downtown food carts. I started GoBox to try and address that problem and help to move from disposable to reusable. GoBox is a service for the downtown food carts so they can provide a reusable to-go container for their customers. And the way it works is if you're a food cart customer, you sign up for GoBox, you pay $8.50, and your $8.50 is a membership or a subscription, and you get your meal in a reusable container. And when you're done, you return it to a nearby drop site in exchange for a GoBox token, which you then keep in your wallet until you're ready for another clean container. You then hand that to the vendor, and they will give you another clean container. And then GoBox picks up the used containers, has them washed in a commercial kitchen, and delivers them clean to the vendors, and all of that's done by bicycle. The containers are a number 5 hard plastic, dishwasher safe, BPA free. About 700 people have signed up to use GoBox already, and we have eliminated the use of about 4,000 to-go containers since launching last July. And one of the things that's happening, we're partnering with the Timbers to offer GoBox at Timbers games so that fans can get their meal in a reusable container at Timbers games and help to do away with throwaway at those games as well. You know, one of the things I've said from the beginning was if this can't work in Portland, it probably can't work anywhere. And I think Portlanders, you know, we're proud of our food carts, as we should be, and we love them, and people all over the world have heard about Portland's food carts. And also Portland is known as a very green city, and people have that way of thinking and that ethic. And I've talked to a lot of people who've said, I really don't like having this disposable container. It doesn't feel right to just throw it away. So having an alternative option that's just as convenient and easy and works just like the other disposable box is great.
For more information, go to the Family Matters section at KATU.com. Community gardens, they're popping up almost everywhere you look, and they're providing an earth-friendly way to feed many. See how our friends at Providence Health and Services are turning their own plot of land into a bountiful harvest for their neighbors.
Well, we're looking for community projects that we could incorporate into the Green Team. This project that we're doing right now is a garden to help feed the people in the community, whether it's the Hillside Manor or other families in need. We've partnered with the Oregon Food Bank.
It's really vital that our communities find these partnerships. Really important that our food systems become healthier so that we're not shipping food from our location and into communities, but rather that they come up and through the communities.
This was the first for Providence, was to have a community garden, and we want it to be real successful. We want to grow hundreds of pounds of fruit and vegetables and whatever we can get out of our garden. This used to be a house many, many years ago, and it's just been a green yard for years. We all worked together, we built the beds, We laid them all out, we filled them with the compost and soil. Everybody had a piece of building the beds, of moving the compost, placing them, measuring. It was wonderful. All the beds that we have here have all been spoken for. It's all volunteers. We're going to have to build more beds if we want to, because we have too many volunteers, which is a good thing. The mission of Providence is to care for the poor and vulnerable. And that's, everybody there that works there takes that to heart. And this is something that really, really feeds us, is to be able to do something for the community and for the people within our community that live close by us.
The more we educate ourselves about solar energy, the more we can address the pressing energy problems of today. We found a teacher using the power of the sun to cook up some environmental awareness.
If you could make a solar oven in 4th grade, what would it look like? The kids brainstorm materials, we get a list on the board, and then they build them. They get in little groups, they build an oven. So the items that you need are a banker box, black tape, black construction paper, glass, a safety razor or utility knife to cut the hole, aluminum foil, scissors, and the food that you choose to cook, and a thermometer. So once you've got your box and you've built the box itself, you're going to cut a hole in the lid, make the hole small enough so that the glass won't fall through. The glass has to sit on top of it. Tape the glass down to the lid so that it won't fall off when you open the lid. Put aluminum foil inside the box, put black construction paper outside the box, tape everything down really well. When you look inside, make sure you have a good visual side where you can tape the thermometer, because you need to be able to read the temperature. Make sure it's sealed so that the heat doesn't escape, and you're ready to cook. We put food in it, put it out in the field, then we go out a couple of times during the day, monitor the temperature. If they need to turn the oven so that it's following the sun, and at the end of the day we bring them in, they record the temperature, they make a scientific observation, what do they see, what do they smell. As America, we need more scientists. We need more kids that are interested in science, that want to pursue scientific questions. And this seems like a good way to kind of start that.
To learn how to make your own solar oven, just head to the Family Matters section at KATU.com.
It's then pushed down into the chamber down below, which is heated up and extrudes it out of this unit right here.
At Providence Health and Services, we are as committed to the health of our planet as we are to the health of our patients. From building to sustainable standards, to composting food waste, from encouraging alternative transportation to work, to safely recycling plastics and other products whenever possible, Providence knows a healthier world makes for healthier people. Providence Health and Services, caring for our communities in all ways.
Hi, my name is Carl Grimm. I'm with Metro, your regional government, and I'm here to talk about why mulching matters to the health of your children, your garden, and your local rivers and streams. Mulch is a covering on the surface of the soil that keeps weeds down without weed killer, and therefore it protects your children and pets from toxic chemical exposures. It also helps plants grow by adding nutrients slowly and by keeping moisture in the soil during our dry summers. Mulch also reduces erosion, protecting our rivers and streams from polluted runoff. The first step is always going to be to weed the area that you're going to mulch. Just make sure that you have a nice edge between your beds and your paths. So what I'm doing right now is putting in some edging for the path and bed interface. And I want to make sure that it seats well so it's good and solid in the ground. So now we're going to rake the path smooth, and then you want to put some kind of a layer either of cardboard or landscape fabric, and then you put the mulch on top of that. This is Oregon filbert shell mulch. It's great for pathways. It lasts a long time, but not good for walking on barefoot. This here is a hemlock bark mulch. It's great for landscape beds. It lasts a fairly long time, not quite as long as the filbert mulch. Compost is a good mulch for vegetable beds. The main thing to remember is don't pile it against the plants that are already there, because that can rot their stems. So So that's pretty much it. A great way to make your yard look beautiful and be earth-friendly. It's important to use sustainable gardening methods so you can protect your children from toxic exposures to herbicides and pesticides. Isn't that right?
Spring cleaning means clearing out a lot of the junk that collects in your garage and in your house. So how do you find a way to keep the stuff you don't want out of the landfill? We found a way to downsize in a very earth-friendly way.
Any Haul is a green hauling company. We go to people's homes and we take away anything that they don't want anymore. So we try to keep everything out of the landfill that we can. So we do that by going to local non-profits here, passing on the reusable furniture. Usually when we do a job, there's a combination of things. There is furniture, clothing, houseware like cups, glasses, knives and forks, maybe bed linen, construction material. There may be broken furniture, but it's usually a variety of things.
Even matching chairs? Yeah. That never happens.
We go to Community Warehouse, Dignity Village. We might go to Wood Waste Management. We really care about our environment. We care about our community, the people in our community. 95% of the stuff we pick up, we either donate it or recycle it. Anything that can be reused should not be just dumped into the landfill. People know that everything will be separated out and taken to the places that it'll get reused and get a new life. As the old saying goes, one man's trash is another man's treasure. We'll try to do our little bit. If everybody did a bit, it would make a big difference.
Styrofoam, it's one of the most common packing materials there is. It's also one of the hardest to recycle. But we found a place that's giving Styrofoam a second chance.
Styrofoam is used to package many types of materials, from televisions, TVs, lamps, kitchen supplies, you name it. And it creates an enormous amount of waste in our landfills. It's actually a polystyrene is what it is. It's a polystyrene 6. Probably 90% of the Styrofoam packaging that's out there. Right now, in its present form, there really isn't much use for it. Styrofoam takes up a huge portion of landfill volume as well. So that's one of the things that we do here in our Portland division here in Total Reclaim is actually take the Styrofoam, run it through a densifier, and it reduces it down to a much smaller, more manageable size that we can then ship, it's ground back up, and then turn into everything from lawn furniture to you name it. This is a 53-foot trailer. A 53-foot trailer loaded top to bottom, front to back, is the equivalent of about 1,000 to 1,200 pounds of undensified Styrofoam. Pretty light material. What we do once after we run it through the machine, that material can then be reduced to the size of this pallet right here. This here is a little over 1,200 pounds of material. So this is our public drop-off area here. The customer just backs up to the door. One of our customer service representatives will come out and greet them at the door. We charge $5 for a carload and $10 for a small pickup load of the Styrofoam. Okay, this is our densifier here. So what this gentleman's doing is loading the undensified foam onto the conveyor here. It goes up into our shredder up here, which reduces it down to a smaller particle. It's then pushed down into the chamber down below, which is heated up and extrudes it out of this unit right here. Comes out looking almost like a tube of toothpaste. We're currently processing about 40,000 pounds every 5 to 6 months. So you're looking at about 80 truckloads of material that we keep out of the landfill each year. It's all about landfill space and doing the right thing for the environment.
It's one of the 3 R's we always hear about, but this one has a twist. See how one man's putting a new spin on the idea of reuse to help artists make beautiful music.
My name's Philip Graham. I make hand-built microphones. My initial designs, I was really just looking for the simplest way mechanically to suspend the capsule out in free space with as little interference around it as possible. So some of the first mics that I built, I had found some surplus copper rings that I used to do that. Most of my designs, that's partly why I use a lot of found objects and scrounged and recycled parts. is really to keep the metal working as simple as I can. For the most part, it's a matter of looking for pieces that have interesting shapes and fit the function that I want them to do. And so there's a lot of sifting through different bits and pieces of different shapes. This is sort of my stockpile of different interesting pieces that I found from one place or another. There's a bunch of standard electrical fittings here that actually make really great mic bodies. You know, I'm not even certain what that is. I think it's a juicer, but it kind of has a feel of a car part. And I also like working with bicycle parts and gears in particular because they're just so visually striking. They're beautiful. Oh, I have my favorite haunts for digging through bins of metal and trying to find things.
Yeah, after a while you get used to what you're looking for.
I definitely enjoy the reuse aspect of it, to look at something and feel like it was saved from the trash. But it was definitely a huge benefit as I was starting out making these, to not have to go through a fabrication shop or a machine shop, or take those extra steps between what was in my head and what I could actually make and get in front of me. Pure joy. I love watching my microphones get used. I just love music. I love watching musicians work. I love good music, and to feel at all a part of that performance, when you see a really good performance, that thrills me. It gives me a tremendous amount of pleasure.
For more information on Ear Trumpet Labs, just head to the Family Matters section at KATU.com. When summer finally hits, it's time to head out to your favorite music festival. But where there are a lot of people, there could be a lot of waste. We found a festival that lets the music play in a sustainable way.
Pickathon is a music festival that is gone well beyond just the music part. The festival is really taking a whole life of its own. It's experience that includes sustainability and what you do with your kids and how you can just really enjoy yourself for 3 days in all kinds of amazing ways. The sustainability for us is very multidimensional. So we look at transportation, we look at energy, we look at recycling, we look at composting, we look at waste overall. One of the biggest impacts that I think where we've become more known for is the ability to first reduce plastic, and then the following year we looked at no single use. So essentially washing dishes, and can you do a large scale festival without kind of even compostable products?
I was a little bit skeptical about whether or not people could adapt to such a radical new process and new thing at a festival.
In the case of the plastic, we decided that if you wanted to drink in the beer garden, you could buy a steel cup. And that steel cup came from Clean Canteen.
We were looking around for a festival about Pickathon size in Northern California about the time that we met Zale. We wanted to find a festival that would do complete plastic replacement, and was he interested in that? And they came back the next day and said, we're signed on, we're gonna do it.
In the year we did the no plastic, I think we reduced the overall trash about 20–30%. We had about 30,000 plus water bottles that we saved, and about the same amount in beer cups. It's a huge amount of waste. Last year, where we did the plates and the silverware, we did a token system. You essentially came to the festival, and if you wanted to eat at the vendor booth, you could do one of two things. You could bring your own plates. We had dishwashing stations. You didn't have to buy anything from us. You could just give them the clean plate, they'd put it on there. Now, if that's just a hassle for you, you could buy a token from us that then you would give to a food vendor, and they would give you plates of food. When you're done with them, you gave it to the dishwashing and they gave you back a token, and you took the token and you used it the next time you wanted it. So all you ever had was a token, and that token was continuously usable all weekend.
After the first day, it was pretty noticeable about how the garbage cans didn't have a lot of garbage in them. I think people were beginning to see the effects of like, hey, there are no paper plates, there are no plastic cups around. People caught on to the whole thing very quickly.
I would say Pickathon continues to sort of be the tip of the spear in modeling the full sustainability effort because of the integration of the solar energy, the transportation work that they do. The token program I think is still pretty novel. And so they really continue to push the envelope, but we are seeing a lot of other festivals adopt our steel cup and the general idea of going plastic free.
We've had lots of festivals very interested in making it something they want to do. I think that's going to just explode. I think the idea is kind of ripe on a national level.
We've only scratched the surface on the ways you can help make a difference in the fight to protect our environment. For more information, just head to the Family Matters section at KATU.com. There you'll find a complete resource center with video, links, and information to help you go green. For KATU and Family Matters, I'm Dave Selesky. Good night.